What's up, everybody? I'm at the library. This is like one of the rooms that you can get it. Fuck, dude. I've been congested. Started yesterday. Been downing apple cider vinegar. And I mixed it with paprika. Dude, even if you're not sick, like, take a little bit of apple cider vinegar and put hot paprika inside of it. Mix it up. I did a video on this. But you drink that, man. You're just wide awake. Crazy. Shakes off any sleepiness. Cool day. Real cool day. Just finished a chest workout. Feeling pretty strong. Trying to cut down. So, man, the other day I was on the road. I wanted to make a video about this. I was on the road. And I was driving. All of a sudden, this car merges over to the right, and in front of me, there is this black, beautiful Ferrari. I don't know what Ferrari it was, but it was beautiful. Probably, this was the nicest car I've ever seen. And I'm like, oh my God, this is a sign. I'm looking at the Ferrari, I'm getting in close, and I'm like, all right. I'm using the law of attraction. I will have you one day. Beautiful car. I didn't really do that, but it was going through my head. I was like, man, maybe. So, everyone on the road, man, slowing down. You can hear this thing hum. And they're driving next to it, all eyes. This car was the lion on the road. I mean, I've never seen anything like it. I got next to him, I was just like, thinking, I wonder what this dude does. I wonder how his life is. I wonder how he sits in there and reacts to all the people. It's fascinating. Man, that much attention. I have this car magazine out. Road and Rack. Road cars that race. Check it out. I think it was that Ferrari. That's the only thing I found. There's another one here, but I think this is like a way newer one. It might have been a Spider, I think you call it. Beautiful. It had the two tail lights in the back like this. The horse. Awesome car. I want one of those one day. Who doesn't? So, and just thinking about this guy's life, thinking about, imagine being like crazy successful. Dude, I'd be such a douchebag if I was crazy successful. I would drive that Ferrari right down the street to the grocery store. I'd drive that thing everywhere. But, you know, success, man. Why do we want to be successful? Reading a little bit from How Adam Smith Can Change Your Life. Cool book. Recommend it to all you guys. A lot of like just diving into the human condition, this whole human comedy, picking apart the mind. He says we all want to be lovely. We all want to be, the reason we want to be famous, we want to be lovely. We want to be loved by the masses. He says there's two ways to live a good life. He says one can be from living with morals and living with virtues, but that's not very seductive. It's a very subtle joy that comes from that, knowing that you did the right thing, knowing that you lived a good life and benevolence to other people, doing good to other people. And there's the other way of acquiring fame, acquiring the attention from millions. But he says it's very dangerous because in that light, when you get hooked, it's like a drug. When you get hooked on the attention of others, you want more and more. Check it out. He said, to those who have been accustomed to the possession or even to the hope of public admiration, all other pleasures sicken and decay. Of all the discarded statesmen who for their own ease have studied to get the better of ambition, and to despise those honors which they could no longer arrive at, how few have been able to succeed. like this part. He says, think of the aging rock star, still touring, still seeking the adulation of the crowd, even though the crowd is getting smaller with each passing year. Think of the aging athlete, past his prime, still playing. When Marilyn Monroe returned from entertaining troops in Korea, she told her husband, Joe, "You've never heard such cheering." Of course, it was just a figure of speech, meaning there was a lot of cheering, but her husband, Joe DiMaggio, one of the greatest baseball players of all time, answered quietly, "Yes, I have." What is it like to take the field day after day to wild cheering? For so many, it must be a drug whose dose must be increased to achieve the same thrill. Is achieving fame and success a blessing or a curse? Like, imagine if you had that Ferrari. Imagine being massively successful. I'm sure some of you are. You're on your road there. It must be really cool. One guy I really like on YouTube is Elliot Hulse. I feel like Elliot did both. Adam Smith he says, the virtue and the moral path, to live a good life, to do good to others, to have prudence, take care of yourself, is the one that's more fulfilling. Because with the other one, man, the dopamine must be dumping like crazy, but you'll always want more. Elliot Hulse, like I'm saying, I think he did both. He impacted so many people, and is still doing so, but also stayed true to his virtues, to the teachings, the morals, to doing good to others, to benefit other people. He became famous like that. What a cool life. Very humble, stay humble. Man, it'd be hard to stay humble. Imagine if millions were looking to you. Yeah. And it's funny because this way of we want to be famous. We want to be valuable. We want to leave impact. I think it's at all humans' core, right? We want to be known in the tribe. We want to be known for doing good, for impacting the lives of others. It's funny. I never really thought about it this way, but when we meet someone who's very famous, and you see people going nuts over when you meet an actor, when you meet a famous singer, just shaking that person's hand. I've never really met too many famous people. I think, Hulk Hogan. He was at the Florida State Fair when I was real young. "How you doing, brother?" I think that's him. Hulk Hogan, and who else? Jay Cutler and Dennis Wolf, two bodybuilders. Man, that was pretty cool, especially at that time in my life where I was so into bodybuilding and these guys were like my heroes. I was picking their brain. "Jay, how do I get bigger?" So, but when we meet these people, it does something to us. And when we see them, they shine with a light that is not like our own, right? They radiate. And why do they radiate so much? It must be because Adam Smith speaks of this, but they're loved by millions. They're loved by many people. They have worth. They have impact. And for us to be around them, even if it's to sit in their car, to shake their hand, to catch their sweat rag off the stage, we're living sort of vicariously through them. We get a glimpse into their life for that moment. Wow, that's powerful stuff, man. Why is it powerful? Because why do we really want to be successful? And what happens when we get there? Let me check this out a little more. So, I don't really know where I'm going with this, but I'm going to keep going. So, man, like, people look at rich people, at famous people, like, they give them so much value. man, that makes us all want that. I think there's something, though, with, like, aiming to be successful. When you're on that grind, dude, when that's your main goal, I feel like you lose a huge part of you. You lose that childlikeness for life, that creativity. In the book Mastery talks about this. He says, as a child, we have the original mind. It's the mind that goes throughout the day, and it doesn't speak in mental, like, it doesn't label things right away. It doesn't describe things with words, but it takes in that tree, it takes in the car, it takes in that summer day or that midnight sky. And then we get older and we get into the constructive mind, where we form these words and these thoughts and these patterns. God, but even for myself, when life is a constant, like, progression to let's make it, let's go, when am I going to make it, what else work can I do? It forms this pattern that gets really fucking boring. I'm not saying for everyone, but it forms a pattern. All right, it doesn't have to be boring, but I think we lose the creative side in that pattern because we're not exposed to any new stimulus. We've seen so many trees that we don't. Oh, that's a tree. Oh, that tree's leaves are changing. Oh, that car, that's a blue car. That's an expensive car. I want that car. I need that car one day. But as kids, we're just fascinated by everything. And the creativity is tremendous. He goes on to say, masters, they get to a place called the dimensional mind, where we are constructive, but we have the creativity of a child. We have focus and discipline, but with the same creativity. How do we get back to that place when so many of us have the same thoughts every day? And the same, literally when we talk to people, instead of hearing what they're saying, we form these thoughts in our head. How to respond, how to act, how to do this. The needs, the worries. There's really no new thing going on inside our heads. I wonder how can I act in my own life to bring on more creativity. I think trying new things, like I said, the brain loves to pick apart different stuff, different puzzles in life, different problems, picking up new things, new hobbies, with a fascination. I'm staying humble, man. There's so much we don't know. It's like, that's why I want to keep learning. The more I learn, man, really, is so true. You realize you don't know that much. So that's what the journey's about. Keep going. Keep growing. Enjoy it. Find ways to be creative. Let your mind, this was my biggest thing, guys. Like, without realizing it, I have a way of looking at the world. When I see a girl, I think a certain way. When I see a guy, I think a certain way. When I see my neighborhood, I think a certain way. I drive my car down the same road every day. And no new perspective to any of this. The way I cook my food, nothing's changed. But imagine if, like, you walk down that street, or you just completely just without thought walking into a brand new building and, like, taking it down with your mind, deconstructing this little machine, this book, man, letting your mind go. What am I even talking about? I'm going nuts. I just think that when we want something so bad is when it's least likely to come to us. We lose a little bit of ourselves when we say the only thing that's going to make us happy is this, getting that Ferrari, having this. We forget what makes us human and what's going to mean the most to the other humans around us, what's going to mean the most to us. I'll finish this up with a story from this book. I like how they put this. An American businessman was at a pier in a small coastal Mexican village when a boat with just one fisherman docked. Inside the small boat was several large yellowfish tuna. The American complimented the Mexican on the quality of his fish and asked how long it took to catch them. Not long, was the reply. The American then asked the Mexican how he spent the rest of his time. I sleep late, fish a little, play with my children, and talk with my wife. I stroll into the village each evening where I sip wine and play guitar with my friends. I have a full and busy life. The American replied, I have an MBA and can help you. You should spend more time fishing and, with the proceeds, buy a bigger boat. With the proceeds from what you could bring in with that bigger boat, you could buy several boats. Eventually, you would have a fleet of fishing boats. Instead of selling your catch to a middleman, you would sell directly to the processor and eventually open your own cannery. You would control the product, processing, and distribution. You would need to live this small village. Move to Mexico City and then maybe to Los Angeles, where you will run your expanding enterprise. The Mexican fisherman asked, how long will all this take? The American replied, 15 or 20 years. But then what? Asked the Mexican. Well, that's the best part. When the time is right, you could go public. You become very rich. You would make millions. Millions, replied the Mexican. Then what? The American said, then you would retire, move to a small coastal fishing village, where you would sleep late, fish a little, play with your kids, spend time with your wife in the evenings. You could go to stroll to the village, where you could sip wine and play your guitar with your friends. Think about the journey. Where do we want to be? What does it mean to us? When we get there, what have we let go of? What have we sacrificed in order to get there? Have we sacrificed our creativity to really be fulfilled in the walk of life? To find joy in the simplest of things like a child would? Or have our obsession of becoming liked and loved by millions and acquiring fame and fortune? We wear this man, I do this myself. It's like, I gotta remove it. I hope you have a great night, guys. Leave me a comment. Let me know what your thoughts are, how you doing in life. I love to talk about whatever you guys are dealing with. It makes me happy when you comment. I'll see you soon.